Good evening, everybody. It is Brad
and Christa
with the Big Family Homestead. Yay! The crowd goes wild. I hope that you guys are ready for another exciting and soon-to-be classic edition of the Big Family Homestead live on Sunday nights.
Yeah.
Tonight is all about worms.
I got worms.
I got worms in my tubes.
You know, you said the crowd goes wild. I think the crowd is wild.
The crowd here is most certainly
Yes, definitely very wild, yes.
Yep. Tonight, we got a lot planned, but our main topic is going to be vermicomposting.
Yeah.
And if you're not familiar, that's poo. Worm poo, holding worms, keeping them there, feeding the worms, how to do it, how to use it, and why it is ragingly, amazingly awesome for your garden.
Yes.
So, tonight, let's give a recap while everybody's jumping on board. Why don't you talk about, the soap making?
All right, so yesterday I got a wild burr. I'll be honest with you. I don't like to use any other soap than the one I make.
It is really funny.
And I have one bar left.
It was a necessity thing.
It was a necessity thing, so I thought, well, since I have to make it anyway, I'll make a bunch of it and we'll start selling it again.
Yeah.
So.
But you're not being completely truthful about that.
What?
She's like, I got to make the soap. And I was like, why? What, are we going to sell it again? She kind of looked at me puzzled. Like I just asked her to climb Mount Everest or something.
Oh.
And she said, well, no, I only have one bar left. And so you're already making the soap, right? I'll help. What do you want me to do?
Well, you were outside busy.
I was shoveling snow.
You were shoveling snow. I was hoping for kind of a relaxing Saturday.
Relaxing time.
Yeah, that didn't happen so much.
A bit of a holiday.
Yeah. I was hoping for a holiday, but...
The good news is we've got, I think, over 120 bars already made, and we're probably going to get up to about 300, and then we'll put them back on the website for sale.
Yeah. Yeah, so I have to buy a few more ingredients so that I can make... I think I was going to make 9 more batches.
Right.
Is what I calculated, because if we have 10 batches, then that's 300 bars. But then I have to make more so that I have some for me.
Oh.
Maybe I'll make a special scent just for me. Because I'm the only one that uses it.
What would the scent of envy smell like? It would be green to remind you of dollars.
I don't use dyes in our soap, honey.
No.
You said it would be green.
I'm sorry. I was giving the mental picture. It would have to be a green smell.
Ah, I see. Like maybe lime or...
I don't know. What would the smell of money be like other than the gross stuff that you get on your hands?
Money is disgusting.
Money is nasty.
So anyway, our soap will be for sale on our website. Not now. The last week of March, it will go up for sale because it will be ready to ship. It has to... I have to cut it first, and then it has to cure. Otherwise, it can be harsh on your skin. But we don't use any fragrance oils. We don't use any harsh dyes or anything like that. It's all natural soap.
It's all yada yada and frou.
It's very frou-frou-y.
Yeah. Oh, but that reminds me too. I have been working on a version 2.0 of our website.
Yes. Well, we both have.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. I've got the framework together. And actually, if you are a content creator out there, if you are in the genre of homesteading and you actually know something about something, like if you're really like, I'm good at blah. I'm looking for people that want to contribute articles to the blog.
Okay.
So if you are interested and you go, you know what? Brad, I know something about blah. And you want to share it, the good news for you is we would obviously have your name there and people would see who you are and you can link to your website or whatever in exchange for putting posts up every now and again. I know that Tyler Woods is going to jump into that. So I'm excited about that. So, but if you're interested and you want to, maybe kind of promote yourself that way by throwing an article our way every so often, just email me. There's links down below, but it's info.bigfamilyhomestead@gmail.com.
Yeah.
So soap making.
Soap making. So there was a question, have I made eucalyptus soap? And I have never made eucalyptus soap. That actually sounds pretty interesting.
I bet it would be.
Yeah. We have tried, we used to make a ton of different scents. And we found our niche on the ones that did the best, that sold the most. So we kind of broke it down to just, or narrowed it down to just these few scents. So we'll have plain, which will have no scent at all, peppermint, lavender, and tea tree. So I might venture out and make a new scent. I don't know yet. So anyway, back.
Do we make laundry soap? David is asking. In the past, we have made laundry soap, but the truth is it doesn't work very well.
No, we have
smelly kids.
Smelly barn kids. And we have when we had teenage stink, you know, for the boys, it just didn't quite get rid of that barn teenage boy smell.
Yeah.
So I don't make.
And we even used the soap nuts for a while.
Yeah.
Those ones you can buy, they're literally soap nuts.
Mm-hmm.
They're a,
right.
Is it a seed?
Yeah.
I think it's a seed.
It's a seed, I think.
But there's a compound in it that makes saponification
it's
happen.
called sapona. It's
Sapona,
actually
right.
on the inside of the seed.
And it just didn't really do it. I mean, maybe if you work inside and you don't really, it might work okay. They're cheap.
Yeah, they're cheap, but it just, I have found that stuff just doesn't work for our clothes. So anyway, no, I don't make laundry soap.
I'm going to try something here. I'm going to pull
something
off.
Messing?
Tyler Woods is saying the popping is back. And that's driving me nuts, guys. It's driving me
Audio
nuts.
is low.
No, it's fine. The issue is a technical one. I'm not going to bore you. We're going to keep going.
Yeah.
Okay, so other stuff. Yeah, I have been, let me tell you what, my body hurts so bad.
Oh, yeah,
I've been every day out there raking snow off the barn roofs and
Mm-hmm.
getting up there as much as I can. Let's just say that in the videos you'll probably see passing by, I've got snow from the roof all the way up to the roof line. When I pull it all down, it's mounted up to the roof line in a very big chunk of where we're at.
Oh, it's massive, the amount of snow that's up on that barn.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, bacon soap. Boys would love to shower more. Bacon soap. I've thought that
I wouldn't want to smell them. I like when bacon is cooking.
You don't want it on your body.
But after, you know, when the cookie sheets are still sitting there and they hadn't been cleaned, and it's the next morning, ugh.
Yeah.
It just is gross.
So, okay. Wild and Wonderful, we have done several videos on soap making.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, I'm going to do something, guys. I'm going to try something real quick. I'm going to turn this on. I'm going to turn that off. Okay. See if this helps with the audio, because we have a whole different system. And the funny thing is that for those of you who know, I have a solar power generator. And I thought that the power in the house was not grounded properly and might have been causing that clicking and popping. And so we have tried everything I can think of. I actually got everything's running through the solar power generator right now. Right. And so I don't know what to do other than, hey, there it is. Right. We'll see. But these are off now, so don't worry about it. Okay. Yeah, those are off.
Off, so we don't waste battery.
Let's just get rid of that.
Take this off.
So anyway, we're going to keep on plugging, and hopefully whatever we did just fixed it. That's the goal anyway. I don't have. Yay! So what we found it's probably that mixer. Okay, other stuff that's going on. The chicken.
Oh my goodness.
Our poor chicken. I think what happened was in their nesting boxes, they're metal. I think there must be a barb or something in there that we're not finding, and I think it kind of cut its comb. Yeah. And then when a chicken gets out with the other chickens and there's blood there, they go after it. They do go after it, and they start pecking at it. And this poor little chicken, she just had blood all over her like this, and she was sitting on the roost right in front of the window, and it just looked like a horror scene. Yeah, it was. And poor thing, she'd shake and flick the blood. She would shake the blood, and it would fling onto the windows. Mm-hmm. It was not pleasant. She's better though. She's rested. She's been through, and she's back laying eggs. So
We separated her into another little, like a small dog kennel. So she had plenty of food and water and some stuff to lay on, and I think we used hay.
Yeah.
But
she'll be back with the rest of the crew in a day or two.
Oh, yeah.
She wants to put her back sooner than I do. I just don't want to have a relapse where they see her.
Sure.
You know, I mean, they take care of us with food, and we take care of them as best we can. And so I'm just like, you know what? It's not that big of a hassle just to do it for another few more days.
Yeah, and she was so sweet. I mean, I wrapped her up in that towel, and she didn't fuss at all. And
she had her head in the water.
No, I didn't have
like
her
you
head
had it
in the
right
water.
there.
I had it right next to the running faucet.
Not scared.
And I would put the water on the rag and kind of wipe her feathers off. So it was a major blood frenzy.
Yes, it was. And so, but we think that she's going to be just fine. We don't think there's any real issue.
No.
The problem is I can't find where she cut herself, and so I can fix it.
Yeah,
I can't
we
find
couldn't find it anywhere. So we were going to leave her, let that wound heal, and then put her back with her friends.
Other stuff. Okay, on Thursday, what we've been doing on Thursdays, guys, during the middle of the day, 2 o'clock Central Time Zone, is we've been doing a live cooking event where if you watched during the intro to this video, we put up a recipe. And what we're doing is we're just saying, hey, if you want to cook along with us, get all this stuff ready to go. And then on Thursday at 2 o'clock, cook with us.
Yes.
And that's been a lot of fun.
It has been a lot of fun.
Well, this week's recipe...
broccoli cheese soup. I know we made loaded baked potato soup last week, but it's so, for us, it's soup weather. It's cold outside, and, we're going to have soup, bread bowls, too.
Well, then you have to make those in advance.
Yes.
Or at least bake them right when we first start.
Yes. I will make those in the morning.
Yeah, bread bowls, oh my gosh. Yeah. And I know it's totally soup weather where we're at. Mm-hmm. If you're down south, it might not be soup weather.
Right, but for us, it's soup weather for 6 months of the year.
Well, it's supposed to be negative 18 tonight.
Yes.
So,
and I think only 4 or 5 for the high tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I have to say, if this is as bad as it gets, it's really
not so bad.
Okay. It's not bad.
Yeah, it's not so bad.
Yeah,
So all right, let's see other stuff. Oh, for those of you guys know, I used to do a daily Monday through Friday Bible devotion. It was just an easy, quick, 20 to 30 minute max thing in the morning. And we would just read a chunk of scripture, and then we'd unpack it, and then we would pray for each other. It's literally that simple. We're not talking like deep theology. We're not in there to pick fights with, I'm a Baptist or I'm a Catholic and da-da-da. We're keeping it very, very all-inclusive in terms of Christianity. Yeah. And if you want to get involved in that, I was told that there were people that were having a hard time finding the actual channel because it's not on the Big Family Homestead channel. We wanted to keep that separate.
Right.
And it's Big Family Devotions channel.
And here is a link for that.
It's a big crazy link.
Yeah.
But there you go. Mama's sending that out. It's also in the video description. So if you're catching this later, it's in the video description. But what you got to do is you got to go and you got to become a subscriber to get the notifications. Oh, you also got to ding a bell or something like that. Isn't that it?
Yes.
You become a subscriber and then there's a little bell. So, but we do that at basically 9 a.m. in the morning. Mm-hmm. Is it 9 a.m.? No.
8:30.
8:30, sorry. 8:30 a.m. I don't know what I'm thinking. So if you want to jump into that, 8:30 a.m., become a subscriber and you'll get notifications if you ding the bell. Yeah. All right. Move on. Okay. All right. Here's something. It's come to that portion of the evening in which we not only permit you to, go ahead and shout out any old channel that you're watching. It can be your own channel. Do it. Toot your own horn. We're encouraging you. Type in whoever you're watching, whoever you're listening to, who you like. Maybe it's just yourself. That's fine. Mm-hmm. And Krista's going to read as many of these channel shout outs as we possibly can, and we'll see. Alrighty, so start typing. Steve Guniak, subbed channel. No, I know what you mean. On your mark, get set, and go.
I will. When they
start typing. I know there's a 30-second delay.
Howling Dog Ranch.
Yeah. Howling Dog Ranch.
Out West Homestead. Home in the Sticks.
All right.
Sassy Sally.
Ooh.
50 Ducks in a Hot Tub. Loudmouth 99. Clawfoot Farm.
What a
Howling
great
Dog
name.
Ranch. Homestead Tessie. I Am Organic Gardening. North Star Prep Starter. Homestead Tessie. Wild and Wonderful. Jayton. Malcolm Small. Roots and Refuge. Homestead Adventure Kid. River Joy Studios. The Cook Family Homestead. Meemaw Homestead
Meemaw.
Goods. Oh yeah.
Ripsteader Bob.
Andy's. Oh shoot. I got stuck on one. Prep Setter Bob, Country Girl, Matt Poza, a Half Acre Homestead, Miles Moit, Two Family Homestead, Danny Wanda, Little Mountain Ranch, Going Batty, Goldshaw Farm, Two Family Homestead, Appalachian Homestead.
Appalachia, yeah.
Yeah, did I say it right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay,
that's one of those words that always trip me up.
It trips everybody up, unless you live there.
Yeah.
Self-Reliant Roadshow, the Green Bay Packers.
The Green Bay Packers. That doesn't count.
No, that doesn't count. Prep Setter Bob, PNC, Fundamental Faith, RIG Outdoors, Bandana Grandma, Survival on Purpose, Prep Steaders, The Needy Homesteader, Living Traditions, Rain Country, Step 1 Survival, Amy Marin, In the Rabbit Hole, that's a new one.
That's interesting.
Adaptive Maritime, Patriot Nurse,
Okay.
White House on the Hill.
You guys can keep typing.
Yeah.
And please feel free to do that. But now for our shout out, we're going to do something a little bit different. And we don't usually do this because we don't want people to feel like whatever their cause is not important. It's just a matter that we just generally don't do this kind of thing because we don't want to get in the habit of saying, you help that person, why don't you help this person? And well, you help, you shouted them out, and why don't you shout me out? And we don't want anybody feeling like that's, our heart is not against anybody's cause or anything like that. It's just that if you do one, you have to do them all.
Right.
But I am making an exception to the rule tonight because this is a friend of the family, and when your friends need you, you just do it.
Right.
And not that you would not be our friends, but this is a friend of the family, and that is Tyler Woods is in the audience today, and he is one of our moderators. We made him a moderator tonight. Yep. And I'm going to put his email up here, and the reason why you'll hear it in a second. So his sister had a horrible, horrible thing happen in their life. The house burnt down, and even took the dog. Everything she has is gone, and part of the problem is that he'll be able to explain to you better, and you'll understand what I'm going to say here in a second. But he can explain it better. But they were between insurances in a way, and pretty much she's getting nothing. And the house was almost paid off, and she has nowhere to go. She has nothing. Right. And so I don't push GoFundMe, things like that at all. But I want to say that if this is something that is on your heart, contact Tyler Woods. That's why this email is down there. He will email you back, tell you the whole story, because I'm only giving you just this kind of little brief snapshot. Right. And if you feel like, man, this is something I got to help them out, then email Tyler Woods, and he will send you all the information on what happened, everything, and then you can decide whether or not that's something you want to help with.
Yeah, it's
horrible.
It's horrible. Absolutely horrible.
So there you go. Tyler Woods, sister. If that's something that is on your heart and mind, then reach out.
Right.
Okay, other things. Weird story of the day. I love reading the strange news sometimes. Where it's like I remember a story from last year. Every once in a while I would do like a little blip video on the weirdest news of the month or whatever. And some guy in India married his dog. I didn't know you could even legally do that, but things are getting wacky in the world of marriage.
Okay. that's not okay. Mm-hmm. That's not, no, that's sinful.
Well, it's beyond sinful.
Yeah.
But anyway, that I saw this story tonight, and I just thought, boy, oh boy, people are weird.
Yeah, that's disturbing.
A couple in Berlin, Vermont, got married this week at the Walmart that they met at. So, okay. But what's even funnier is the assistant manager performed the ceremony in the flower section where they met.
How can the assistant manager perform a ceremony unless they have been certified as a...
I would imagine that would have to be.
That's very strange.
Married in Walmart. I wouldn't do that.
No.
No.
No. Not at all.
No.
No. Oh, brother.
Okay. So, there we go. Now, we're moving on, guys, to the main event of the evening. Dun, dun, dun. We got worms. What?
Okay. M. Jones says, Brad, did you hear about the kid suing his parents for giving birth to him?
Yes, I did, actually. It's sad.
Insane.
It's sad. So, anyway, vermicomposting, guys. We have had our most successful gardens when we have been using two things.
Jackals? No mind.
Worm tea and... Give it to me.
Biochar? Sorry. There's always those responses that just come quickly when certain things are said.
Yeah.
And sorry, I couldn't help it.
There you go. Well, it used to be something that, we'd say if the answer was absolutely no, well, you get two things, Jack and squat.
And that's what I was going to say, so, yeah.
Yeah, so vermicomposting, worms, red wigglers, worm tea. The best gardens we've ever had have been when we use biochar and worm tea.
Yeah.
Tonight we're going to talk a little bit about red wigglers, how you actually can harvest their worm castings, how you can use the worm castings, and I'm not going to talk a lot about biochar, but we're going to talk about it just a bit. Biochar is amazing, but worms, mama.
Worms are so cool. They do some amazing stuff.
We'll give them the 411.
Okay, so what are worm castings? Okay, and I took this off the internet. This is not my own creation here. Of course, you can believe everything you read, right? No. Worm castings are they contain. Okay, worm castings in the short it's worm poop.
Yep.
Okay, it's these worms go to work on banana peels and lettuce and
paper, all kinds of
and
stuff.
All this biodegradable stuff, and they just make it into the most beautiful
compost
fertilizer. Okay, it doesn't smell.
Nope.
It doesn't have it. It smells like the forest floor after a rain.
It's that blackest, rich dirt.
It's I'm not one. I'm very sensitive to smells, but that stuff smells so good, and that's the best smelling worm poop ever. Trust me.
Well, read some of the 411, baby.
Worm castings contain a highly active biological mixture of bacteria, enzymes, remnants of plant matter, and animal manure. Okay?
No pinworms, yeah.
No pinworms. No. Worm castings are packed with minerals that are essential for plant growth, such as concentrated nitrates, phosphorus, magnesium, potassium, calcium, manganese, copper, zinc, cobalt, borax, iron, carbon, and nitrogen. Can you get a more compact fertilizer than that? I mean, that contains everything to grow plants. Everything.
Absolutely.
So.
Any more? What you got?
This one struck me as, I didn't know this one. This one shocked me. As the organic matter moves through the alimentary canal of the earthworm, a thin layer of oil is deposited onto the casting.
This is the cool part.
This layer erodes over a period of 2 months, which makes it a slow release fertilizer.
Yep.
I think that's fantastic.
Yep.
So, oh, and I already read that the castings are odorless. Oh, and the pH of castings is a 7.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's a very neutral
It's going to work for a lot
fertilizer.
of plants.
Right.
So worms. Now, we have our experience with worms.
Mm-hmm.
I got intrigued by these, because, the castings, they're so good for your soil, and you mix them in with your soil. And they were amazing. But then I found that, if you can raise them, and you don't have to buy the castings.
Because they're expensive.
Well, they're not overly priced, but it would be expensive if you wanted to put it in a lot of places.
Right, exactly.
Right. So we did some study, and what we found was the red wiggler kind of worm was the worm that you're supposed to use.
Yep.
Now, if you want to make your own worm habitat, you can buy them. They make these really cool stackable, even inside things. If you do them right, you can keep it in the kitchen and you won't smell them.
You won't smell it.
You won't smell the trash.
Nope, you won't. The thing is, you cannot put orange peels, onions, or meat in there.
Right.
They won't do that. But any kind of greens, banana peels, paper, you can shred up your bills, and they will go through that in no time at all.
Yep, and the trick, and we're not going to go over all of everything about worms because it would take more than an hour.
Yeah.
But if hopefully this broadcast will be enough for you to get interested to go, okay, I should do some study on this. But it's important to keep the right amount of moisture in there where it's not too wet. But the way that it works, if you can imagine, you've got a bottom tray that gathers liquids.
Yes.
Okay. Then all of these different trays have tiny holes in them. And what you do is you got your bottom tray that holds liquid. Then you put tray number 1 right here. Okay. Then you're going to put your shredded paper. You're going to spray it so it's right in moisture. And you're going to throw in some food stuff like banana peels or lettuce or rotten, carrots, or shred it up.
Right.
Get it small.
Right. No glossy paper. You're right.
Correct.
TW.
Correct. Then you're going to go ahead and put those worms down in there. Cover it up with a little bit of paper, and you're going to let them go to town. Then you're going to stick another one on top, another tray, and you're going to go ahead and seed that with all the paper and food mixture.
Yep.
And what happens is when they've eaten through that bottom layer, they'll go up, and they leave those castings there.
Yeah, it's amazing stuff. And it's light and fluffy. It's not clumpy. It's it's not, and the reason for it not being so wet is because the water and the liquid goes down into that bottom where you can drain it out into a jar or something and get rid of that.
Yep. And well, here's the thing: they sell these kits, and they're really cool.
Yeah.
But you don't have to do that. You could use. I've seen people use bathtubs for a bigger setup. Oh yeah.
What?
Bathtubs, because it's already got the drain on the bottom.
Oh, good point.
And I've seen people use the 20-gallon, 15-gallon totes, and you can stack them like that if you want to do something in the house or the garage.
Right.
You just poke holes in them, and you go to town like that. I've seen big operations where that's what they do is they make worm castings where they'll just stack up concrete blocks about 3 foot by 3 foot, 3 foot high, and then 3 foot apart. And they'll just make these giant rows. And what they do is they get horse manure or whatever, and they dump it in there, and the worms go to town, and they just work their way back this way. They keep
Interesting.
They keep working their way.
Oh, I see. They put some on one end. I'm like, how are they going to harvest that? So they put some manure on the one side, and then as they get that, they put more, and they just work their way. I got you.
Yep. And there's a million ways that you can make your own worm farm, but if you're a gardener, you need to get your hands on this stuff.
Literally.
If you're a prepper, get into worms. They'll probably save your life someday because your tomatoes will be ridiculous.
Yeah.
When we did not do worms, our tomato plants were the normal size, maybe 4 foot tall.
That's the tallest. But when we used the worm castings and worm tea, they were taller. They were 6 foot plus. They
Easy.
were massive.
And we had massive tomatoes on them.
I weighed one of our beefsteak tomatoes, and it was 2.5 pounds. it was insane. It was huge, and it was like this.
Yeah. Well, and another thing that's cool about the worms too is they're going to go ahead and they're going to lay their own eggs. So even though they don't live a terribly long time, they're going to go ahead and as long as there's food there, they're going to keep going at it. And they lay their own eggs and they just keep going. If you live in a cold area, you really want that to be in around a temperature of 70 degrees, if you can, because that's going to be optimum for them.
Right. Maya is saying she has a friend that used an old chest freezer.
That works.
That's fantastic.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anything that you can kind of regulate the temperature. They don't obviously like the light, so when the light hits them, they're going to go down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
So make sure you cover it with a lid. I mean, the one that we had, it was just a flat lid and it just went right down on top, and it was a great system.
North Country Off-Grid, do you have to trap them? If you're talking about worms, the answer is no. Because once they eat through, like if you have a stackable system instead of like a linear system, if you got a stackable system, you basically just wait until they're done with the food that's down there. You can go, oh yeah, they're done. I can harvest these castings now. And then you just keep going. You clean out the castings and you put the thing on the top and you just keep going.
Right.
But you could, you can trap them if you want to, but we bought ours through the mail.
Yes.
It was, I think the website was like Uncle Jim's or something like that.
I don't remember.
I think it was Uncle Jim's. But they're not that expensive, but red wigglers are the best ones for this.
Right. Okay, now.
Questions?
Yes. Don't you use rabbit poop? Yes, you can do that as well.
Absolutely.
And it's a neutral manure. It's not a hot manure like chicken manure. So you can put it straight into the garden bed and it won't hurt your plants in any way. And now Jayton's asking, how long from start to fertilizer?
Okay, that's not very fast.
That is not very long. I would say.
Oh, no, sorry. I said it wrong. I said not very fast.
I would say maybe a month.
No. It depends on the size of your system.
Right.
We got to say that.
Depending on how many worms you get. I mean, if you get a pound of worms, it probably won't take that long.
And if you go with a stackable system, okay, let's say this. When we did the 15-gallon tubs, the ones you can get from Walmart for like $9,
right?
That tub, because you don't want to stack it, you're not going to stack it full to the top. You're only going to go like this high because when they stick together, there's only that much room.
Right.
So it took probably 2 weeks till we had worms and shredded junk and food, and then they moved up.
Right.
So then that is usable compost. So that probably took about 2 weeks.
Yeah, it didn't take long.
Now, here is the thing. That's great. And put that in your garden. You will not believe the miracles that'll happen in your garden by using the worm castings.
Right. And you have to mix it into the soil. You can't use that only to grow your plants.
Yes. Now, we're going to tell you how to take that worm castings and make it into crack cocaine for your plants.
I have one more thing I need to say about worm castings. Worm castings increase the ability to retain water.
Yes.
It retains water in your soil a lot longer than just potting soil.
Right.
Or whatever soil you're using.
Okay. Yes. Now, the thing is, the worm castings are great, but if you want to increase the beneficial bacteria and everything about them, you can take those castings and you can make them into a living worm tea. And then it'll go, your plant, let's just say, trust me, make some worm tea, use it.
Yes.
Number one, everything goes better. All of the beneficial bacteria go from tens of thousands to millions and billions in the soil. It promotes a live soil like nothing else. And the way that we did that was we took, you can take a bucket, you could take a 55-gallon drum, whatever size you want to start with. And what you need to do is you need to make sure you're using water that is not chlorinated. Like rainwater would be great. Or if you have like city water and you got to get rid of it.
55-gallon drum?
You can do that.
Oh, that threw me because we've only ever made it in 5-gallon buckets.
Well, I'm gonna scale it. I'm gonna scale it.
Go for it.
So what you can do to get rid of that is you're gonna use a bubbler, like some kind of bubbler. Whether you can push air down in with like a wet dry vac, or we used fish pumps.
Yeah, we used a fish bubbler. So.
And what you do is we took a 5-gallon bucket, or we'd usually do 2 or 3 at a time. We fill it up with our water. Then we put our fish bubbler with, like the little stone in there, and you let it run for, 4 or 5 hours, and that's going to make the chlorine dissipate out of there. Then what you do is you take your worm castings and you put it in some kind of a mesh bag, like a painter's bag.
Paint strainer, yeah.
Or nylons, like ladies' nylons.
Yep.
That would work. And you want, for a 5-gallon bucket, we figured on about 1 pound of castings. You're going to hang that. Not let it sit on the bottom of the bucket. You're going to let it, hang it so that you can tie it to where it's hanging suspended about halfway through the bucket. Then you're going to take about 2 tablespoons of unsulfured molasses, and you're going to pour that in there. And then you're going to get your fish bubbler going, because what's going to happen is the bacteria and all the good stuff that's in the castings, they're going to go, bam!
They wake up.
Dinner time!
Right.
And they go nuts eating that stuff, and they multiply.
Yep.
And then you only do that for about 1 day. And then you need to use it. You need to use it right then. The best is to use it up within a day or 2.
Yep.
Put it on your plants. Let it soak into the ground. Put it all over everything, and you will not believe how miraculous your garden will be.
Yeah. Nature's miracle grow, says Savannah. Yep.
It's organic.
Yeah, but she's talking about rabbit poo.
So
yeah, Tyler, I know. I read your comment earlier. He
says,
how do worms have casts if they don't have arms or legs? Ha, ha, ha.
Savannah
That's a dad joke.
Berniquez, we put rabbit poop straight into the hole, into the soil when we transfer plants. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
Rabbit poop it is great.
Yep, it will not harm your plants in any way.
It's not what they call a hot fertilizer.
Right.
Like chicken poop is great to compost.
It has too much nitrogen.
But don't put it directly in, or you'll burn your plants.
You gotta let it sit over the winter.
We do have a couple of videos on how to do the worm tea. If you want to actually see it happening, you can always go on our channel and check it out.
Yeah.
But the worm tea, guys, I'm not a scientist, nor do I play one on TV. Tennis Buffy. Anyway, sorry.
Stop.
Anyway, all I can say is that I'm a guy who used to grow tomato plants like this. When I started using worm tea and biochar, they're as tall as me. Okay? Now, we're not going to go into biochar a lot, but I'm going to tease it up a little here. Okay. The Incans and the Aztecs down in South America. Scientists were baffled about the size of their cities because, believe it or not, even though it's rainforest there, there's not a lot of great soil that would support these massive cultures in such tight city centers.
Right.
Well, they found that what they were doing was making biochar. They were actually putting carbon into their soil with fertilizer, and it was giving them 200, 300% yields on regular stuff they would normally get.
Right.
And so on a microscopic level, what you have is when you make carbon, it's basically charcoal. I'll explain it in a sec, but it's charcoal. But if you look at it at a tiny little microscopic, size, the size of a pencil eraser, they say that there's so many tiny little microscopic tubes in there, like little tunnels, tubes, that if you unrolled it, it'd be huge. Like the size, like they said, 100 yards. It's crazy. And what happens then is when you inoculate that biochar with something like worm tea, it acts as the ultimate slow release or fast release into your garden as the soil needs it.
Right.
So if you're having a dry period, it'll release that stuff into it. If you're having a wet period, it'll hold it back.
Right.
And making biochar is super easy. So you combine those two, it's basically forget it. You could be the worst gardener in the world and you're going to have massive fruit.
Right. Cynthia, I want to talk about your question. She's asking, how long should horse manure sit before you can use it?
Horse, I don't know.
Well, here's what I have learned about horse manure. You really shouldn't use it in your garden because horses don't have a ruminant system.
Oh, yeah.
Like cows and goats. So all of the seed that the horses are eating in the hay goes straight into your garden. And it, like with a cow, their four stomach system breaks down all of that seed where a horse does not. So
I know a lot of people do.
I know a lot of people do.
But you're going to get weeds.
You are going to get weeds.
You're going to get weeds.
Yeah, so I don't know how long long it's going to sit, but just try and find a local farmer that's got some dairy cows. He'll be happy to share some manure with you.
They have no problem sharing some manure.
I'll be happy to share some. Yeah.
We're full of poo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right. Of course, now Prepsteader Bob is saying about 60 days, depending on how much rain you get.
Right, and it is usable, but you're going to get weeds.
Right.
You know. So anyway, going back to the worm tea and the biochar, getting a worm farm set up is easy peasy lemon squeezy. I do love rabbits too.
Yes.
Rabbits are great because you can mix it right in with the worm tea. What we used to do is we would put the rabbit poo right in the garden and then the worm tea on top of it.
Right.
Right on top of it. Another thing that we found that was kind of a side benefit, the deer don't like it. No. They don't like it. They won't. They did not bite it. I tell you what. Okay, embarrassing stuff. I've tried everything to keep deer out of the garden. Everything. Mm-hmm. I've even done the whole go pee around the garden.
Yeah, hey boys, go make a perimeter.
It wasn't just the boys. Because they said, if they smell that, then they're going to think there's a predator there.
Girls can't make a perimeter, honey.
I didn't say girls. But, you try everything. It's like, this is my garden. I've put so much work into it. Those stupid things come in here. And what we found is when you spray the worm tea on there, because we did it at least once a week. They didn't like it. They didn't like the taste. You could see that they came in and nibbled and then left. What?
Nothing.
So anyway, it just seems like that it's a side benefit that it scares the deer away. Okay. Franklin in North Carolina says, takes 6 months for horse to be usable. Has to get to a hot internal temperature to break it all down. Yeah.
Yeah. I know someone is asking about cow manure. I don't know how long it takes. I know we've got a nice, lovely pile out in the...
We got plenty.
We have plenty, but we got a nice pile that we scraped out of the barn last winter. So
if you live in central Wisconsin and you want some dookie, you know who to call. Deer don't like the rabbit poop or worm tea. North Star Prepsteader. In my experience, the deer would come in and nibble and then leave. However, that was because, you got to reapply it because they don't... It'll wash off. You get rain or whatever, it washes right off. Deer ate most of my vegetables last year, says Phoebe. Oh my gosh. I'd be hunting deer.
Yeah, no kidding.
But I think she's in Canada, right? Is she in Canada?
Who? Phoebe?
Phoebe, yeah. So, getting a gun there, good luck.
Yeah.
I know you guys can hunt and stuff, but man, there's red tape involved. Other questions? What do we see? I did not need that mental image, yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Sheep doo-doo is supposed to be great, too. I would imagine sheep and goat have the same kind of ruminant system, so they would both be compatible for a garden, to put in your garden. And it's not a hot... it's not a hot manure. It's not high in nitrogen like chicken poo. So.
Horse manure is what I use to raise my chickens. Interesting. 100% grain-free here. Horse poo is great for them, yes, because of the seeds they pack through.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
I would not doubt Rose of Sharon. I would not doubt, but I would do a little research before I did that.
Yeah. Well,
okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's...
You know what? And that's the thing. Okay, guys? You're online. Mm-hmm. Everybody's an expert. I'm here to tell you, We're not.
No, we're not.
We're on a journey.
We know what has worked for us so far, and if something doesn't work, then we change what it does. And some people, it works great for them. So that's, yeah. Lost my train of thought.
The train left the station, baby.
Without me.
Without you. All right.
Oh, my goodness.
So that's all we're going to talk about for worms and worm tea and biochar.
Yeah.
I do want to address that we will be talking about biochar again soon, because that is insane what it does for your ground. Mm-hmm. I've seen that a few people have been asking about the seed exchange, this, questioning. In the past, we have done a seed exchange where people mail in seeds, and we figure out however many we're going to do, like, you got to put in 10 packages of whatever you have. And then we would basically go around a room and go, grab from your bag and then keep going around and around. So everybody gets, 10 packages of seeds from all around the world or whatever. I don't know if we can do it this year.
I don't
We've done it for the past 3 years, even twice a year sometimes.
Right.
It's just a lot of work.
It is a lot of work because I have to separate them by zones. Mm-hmm. Because I'm not going to send seeds from Texas to folks in Wisconsin.
Because it won't work.
It won't work. So I have to separate them by zones. And with us homeschooling this year, and with the soap, it's just a lot. And then snow, for crying out loud, it's ridiculous. Plus, Macy's going to have her calf here in the next 2 months, so I just want to make sure that I don't have more on the plate than
we don't know if we can do it right now. Right now, it's up in the air. Normally, I'd say, we want to do it.
Right.
Because we get some cool stuff.
We really do get some.
And we share
really
all
cool
this
seeds,
stuff.
Yeah.
One year, somebody from China sent us these ghost pepper seeds that were 1 million Scoville hot. Mm-hmm. I'm not into that, but I know there's a lot of people that like hot food. And I was like, good, let's pass these suckers out. So, but it was the weirdest thing because they came in this little silver package. No English writing on anything except some ghost pepper seeds, 1 million Scoville.
Yeah, no.
I was like, oh.
Didn't we send those to Zach?
Yeah, from an American homestead.
Yeah,
he likes hot food.
Over there. Yeah.
He likes hot food.
Yep. Yes, Bandana Grandma, we are going to be selling soap again. You weren't here.
It's curing right now.
It's curing right now.
She's already made some.
I do have to make about 9 more batches to make what I want to sell. So, got to get a few more supplies this week.
Yeah. Okay. So moving on, we got a couple questions for you guys. Couple questions, and we're going to ask you the questions you got to answer. Then we'll tell you our answers, okay?
I have to answer one
Sure.
more question right now. Alicia's asking if we ship our soap to Canada. Not as of right now. It costs.
We don't know how to do it where it's affordable.
Right. The cost of shipping, I would hate to have to put that all back on the buyer, but as of right now, I'm going to have to say no because of how much it costs to ship out of the country. So,
I'll tell you what. What we can probably do is if you wanted to figure out a way where if you didn't mind that it was like a few bucks more, we can just email us because we're not opposed to sending it. We just don't want to grill anybody. We don't want anybody to be like, you want $8 to ship 3 bars of soap?
No, 1 bar of soap. Yeah.
But if you're cool with that, we're okay with that. Just email us. Yeah. North Star Prep Center. What are ghost peppers? Ghost peppers are ridiculously hot.
It is a very
1 million Scoville.
Yes, it is the hottest pepper on the Scoville.
I think they said there was another one that was a little bit hotter, like a Carolina Reaper.
Oh,
I'm not into that.
Somebody just said Carolina. Oh yeah, Carolina Reapers are hotter than ghost peppers.
There you go. Okay. See, I'm not into hot food like that. I like heat, but I don't like pain.
Yeah, no.
And those things are so hot that you literally have to wear gloves, like rubber gloves and goggles and breathers, because it'll mess up your airway.
I like flavor and I like some heat, but that's no thanks.
Steve Guniak is correct. Ghost pepper is actually boot jalokia.
Yeah,
that is correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1 bite of a ghost pepper, you will wish you were a ghost.
Yeah.
And I see these guys. You gotta wonder, okay, who is the dude that's been like looking at this thing on the plant, going, "Why don't you take a bite?" Hey, dare ya?
No, thank you.
Dare ya?
No.
Here, have another beer. Dare ya?
Come on now.
No, you know, it's got to be like, it had to be some kind of I'm bigger than you contest.
It had to have been a dare. No thanks. And how do they measure that? You know, is it the oils?
I don't know. Yeah, I think
it's probably the oils. They
I think
extract
it is.
the oils. Goodness gracious, no thanks. I'll pass.
Oh, when do you start planting your seeds? I'm in Minnesota and starting to get antsy for spring. Melissa
too.
says O'Brien.
Us too.
Okay. We would normally be starting seeds probably now. Like right around now.
No.
If we lived in Ohio, that's exactly.
Yes, in Ohio, we would have already started them beginning of February. But
now
here,
we've got it all messed up. We have no idea what to do.
we cannot put any plants in the garden until June 1st. So it's not possible. So we will probably start our tomatoes June, May, April, beginning of April.
Oh man.
Because it takes that long to get tomatoes going, so that's gonna be. We gotta get our system set up this year.
Well, and actually,
Because I'm not buying plants this year.
there's a company that sent us a goodie.
I know.
When you're so massive, no,
Whatever.
but when you got a YouTube channel, sometimes there's companies that go, they could really show our stuff off.
Yeah.
And there's a company that they mailed us like a vertical garden, and we've been working with it in the basement with like grow lights. So, but they're LED, so the feds won't know. They won't come and be like, they're growing weed here. They do that kind of stuff.
I know they do. And because these are LED, don't use a lot of high wattage, and so they're not going to come and see us.
Mima's Homestead Goods. Have you thought about building a hothouse?
Yes.
Yes.
Many times.
The home that we're in is a lease purchase kind of thing, and we're not there yet. We're really close.
Yeah.
We're really close. And once we make this place ours, then it's going to be Katie bar the door. You won't believe the videos you're going to get.
No kidding. There are so many things that we want to do. It's just we got to get it done. Get this house.
Anne-Marie Grams is from Australia.
Oh, hi.
Good day. See, I know some of the language. Good day, mate.
Throw another shrimp on the
Oh, no,
barbie.
that's not real.
No, that's not real. I'm just teasing. It's just, I was quoting a movie.
Yes.
Sorry. Badly.
What do you think of burpee seeds? I don't really.
I don't, yeah. The best seeds that we have gotten have been from Baker Creek.
Baker Creek.
Rareseeds.com they've been the best seed company for us.
Yeah.
Because they have heirloom seeds.
And we're not knocking on burpee.
No,
we have had better success with Baker Creek.
Yeah.
And no, we're not endorsed by Baker Creek, but hey, Baker Creek.
You'd like to be.
Come on over. So, how did it go at the bank? Phoebe's asking about our situation.
On it still.
We're working on it. As a matter of fact, we're going back to the bank tomorrow.
Right. So we'll let you guys know when stuff is getting finalized. So.
Yep, let's see. Okay, it is 7:53. We only have a few more moments left. We don't have time for that.
No, we really don't.
So let's just go ahead and answer a few questions. Anybody got a question?
Yep.
So, great tip, Christa. What was the great tip? Dixie Living Homestead. Baker Seeds, maybe? I don't know.
No, she said great top.
Oh! You know,
She's talking about my top.
That's not the first person that's mentioned it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh. I love this sweater because, it's warm, but it's not, cumbersome. You know how some sweaters can be just so bulky? I don't like anything around my neck that's tight. I won't wear scarves. So.
Oh, Reverend Burpee Seeds, come on. You can do better than that. There's got to be way better jokes, bro. Come on. All right. Our Liberty has a seed exchange. Okay.
Cool.
Most of their seeds from Baker Creek, too.
Inger says it's 2:53
Oh, my gracious.
in the morning. She stays up late.
Sister, I hope you're getting enough sleep.
Yeah, no kidding.
Bree, how bad is the snow for you? Bad.
It's bad, Bree. Come on. It's bad.
Hey, Scott, I will try. I will try, and I promise you it's nothing to do with you and me relationship-wise. It's just been insane.
Chaos Central, anyone?
Yeah.
Don't pick up the phone and say, never mind.
I am being nice. Jeez. I'm sewing mittens. So
Cool.
I might miss the comments. By the way, Bandana Grandma, she did not ask for this. She makes the most amazing mittens, and I think she sells them.
Yes, she does. I think she sells them on her Etsy store.
Claire is a humongous fan.
Yeah, she loves those mittens.
She's always like, look at what I got.
She plays Puppet Show. No,
So
she really
if you're in the market for a good pair of mittens, go over to Bandana Grandma's channel.
Yeah, she repurposes them from wool sweaters that she gets at thrift stores and things like that, and they are just super warm.
Okay, all right. Let's see. Questions. Darcia Kennicott.
Okay.
Any tips on preventing hookworms? Now, do you mean in animals?
Probably in goats.
If it's in goats, we feed our goats what we fed our goats. Food grade. That's important.
Mm-hmm.
Food grade diatomaceous earth. I've eaten it. You can eat it. All it is it's basically the crushed up remains of diatoms in the ocean. Mm-hmm. And even though they feel like a talcum powder in your hand, it's nice and smooth and soft, but on a microscopic level, they're sharp, they're jagged, and those worms get them on them and it kind of pulls them apart.
Right.
So if you're talking about for goats, you can put, if
you sprinkle about a tablespoon on their feed
per animal
per animal, once or twice a day. I would stick to about once a day, but definitely check with your vet too. But we have always given our goats the diatomaceous earth.
She's saying tomato worms, so I'm not sure I understand because we've never had issues with tomato worms. So I don't...
Probably the hornworms.
Oh, the big hornworms?
Yeah.
You just go out and pick them. You got to go get them.
A good thing to do is to get a black light and go out at night. And then you can find the little itty-bitty baby ones.
Yep.
And then you collect them and give them to your chickens.
Yep. That's exactly what you do. And the big ones, the kids are, oh my gosh, they're like watching gladiators.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Because the kids will get those big green ones and they'll be like, come here, chickens. And they're like, whack, 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 whack.
Oh,
and it's how's the Let's Getting Healthier going? Because you were looking thinner. Common Sense University doesn't give a degree. I actually haven't even talked to Christa about this, but I think there's this soup that I used to have a long time ago, and they used to put heart patients on it, like patients that were going into heart surgery. That's like tomatoes and cabbage and some other things.
Oh yeah.
That I think I'm going to go ahead and make an effort to get on, because, it's hard, guys. And I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
Everything's up and down. It's it's a stressful, struggling thing. So, but I think that I lost like 15 pounds in a week when I was on that soup.
Yeah.
But that's all you eat.
Right.
You just eat that soup and that's that. That was the trick, is like getting your mind wrapped around this soup. Yeah, Peel a Pound soup, Anna Marie Graham's. You're exactly right. That's it.
The thing with up here is we're active, but not as active
in the winter.
In the winter because it's cold, So
although the snow has been kicking my butt.
Yes, it has.
My back is in so much pain. And I didn't expect my legs to be in pain. Well, you're going up and down a snow-covered ladder.
Right.
Anyway. Here's the thing, guys. We have run out of time. And so with that, you guys know we're a family of believers. So if you don't want to hang around for the next minute and a half to pray, then we say goodbye. And hopefully we'll have you back next week. But we're going to say a quick prayer and call it a night. So with that, here we go. Father God, we come before you tonight, and man, oh man, God, I am just so grateful that you've brought all these folks here. I pray that tonight you would show each and every one of them that just another glimpse of how much you love them, and just pick them up like a daddy who just is absolutely excited to see his kid, and let them know you're not absent, you're not distant, and you've done everything so that we can have a relationship with you that's permanent and lasting and forever. Jesus, thank you so much for the sacrifice you've made. Help us to be more like you every day. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Alrighty, guys, that's it. Over to the Self-Reliant Roadshow. You guys have an amazing night.
Good night.